The monologue in this video is going to kind of casually drift into depictions in media of things that some people would consider heavy. I don't think it's that intense, but just be forewarned, like, if stuff like that gets you upset, this might not be the video for you. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you. Okay, bye-bye. So we're doing this again. Oh yeah, the parts I cleaned are already here. Are already still clean. Awesome. Ugh. I guess that'll be the last thing I do. Alright, let's do... Let's do this. Hello everybody, and welcome to Carnivore Plays. I am Carnivore, and I'm going to be playing Power Wash Simulator while talking about just whatever the hell is on my mind. This has become kind of, I don't know if cathartic. Is cathartic the right word? Basically helps me to chill, and I appreciate it. So this is what I'm doing. This is not this. How do I make it? That's how I do it. I think this might be too loud. There we go. I think that should be good. I don't want too much noise. Still want to be able to hear the swooshy sounds. The swoosh, the sound of the swoosh. So what's up, everybody? It's another week or two later since the last time I did this. It's always weird when you start one of these things, because you have to like remember how to play the game, and then you have to like think of stuff to talk about. I write little things down, but it's always weird on like, how do I start? How do I segue into the things I'm talking about? I don't know. So let's just get into it. I haven't done much since the last time. Not a lot of busy since the last time. Or at least not a lot of busy that's like interesting to talk about. So one thing is I have, there's a few people who consistently watch my videos, and that's very sweet. I super appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you if you're listening now. Thank you for watching this. I appreciate you filling your time, your short amount of time on Earth, with me talking about nonsense. It's very sweet of you to pick me out of all the thousands of people on YouTube that you could be watching right now. You could be learning shit, but instead you're just kind of chilling with me, and I appreciate that. But some of the people who listen are people I know in real life, right? And sometimes they give me little, like, how do I say it? Like, they'll say, like, oh, you should make your videos this amount of time, or you should do this in your videos, or you should make a video this way. And I had a friend who was watching my power wash stuff, and he was like, well, you know, the power wash videos, I don't know if he liked it or not, but he basically said, like, oh, you should talk about, like, power washing and, like, learning how to do skills to take care of your, like, houses and stuff. Like, you should talk about that on your power wash videos. Like, instead of talking about, like, Trigun and what else did I talk about? Like, instead of just talking about, like, stuff. And I actually do think that is a good idea. But to any friends of mine that have suggestions for how to make these videos, I say this. Fucking do it yourself. Fucking come and join me. Sit in this room. There's plenty of chairs. And make a video with me, goddammit. I do not want to be talking to the microphone by myself. It's weird. And I hate it. And that is an interruption from Missouri. I was like, I had my phone in my hand before I started this video, and I was like, should I turn this off? I'm like, nah, no one's gonna call me. Bullshit, Missouri's gonna call me. Okay, this is completely yellow floor. Oh no, it's a large blue floor. I can't tell if the roundabout is it clean. Is it clean? Are you clean? No, I think it is clean. Okay. Should I do the floor last? Should I do all the things and then do the floor last? I don't know. But before I got interrupted. Now my train of thought has crashed and burned, and everybody's dead now. Fuck. Oh yeah. To anybody who's like, oh, you should do the videos one way or another. Yeah, I should. You should join me, and then we'll do it. Just come, saddle on up to one of these chairs and make a video with me. I'm totally down. Totally down for that. Otherwise, I'm just going to do them my way. And I'm going to talk about what I want. Just because it's what I feel like talking about at the moment. I make these as like an expression of myself. I'm not doing it for views or to save the world. I'm just expressing my thoughts. They're kind of like meditation for me. Which is why I'm doing Power Wash Simulator. You know, like I just want to share things I like and share my thoughts on things I like and talk about what I'm thinking about. Like that's the point. Like it's not how do I say it? This channel isn't for learning. It's for you know, just me expressing myself really. And if anybody's interested in seeing me do that, that's totally cool. I would love to switch things up as I get better, and as I do this more, and just make it into a channel for a bunch of different stuff. But I don't know if that's going to happen, and I don't know when that's going to happen. So for now, just me being chill. But I'm totally down, like if I know you, for you to come and join me in a video, and then we can make whatever video you want to make. I'm totally down with that. Yeah. I actually know quite a few people who I think would be great at entertaining people with their thoughts and you know, just the things that go through their head and talking about whatever they want to talk about. The friend that told me I should make this video about power washing and like how to like do chores around the house, how to learn how to take care of things. He would be great at this, and I absolutely invite him to join me and do this. And there's plenty of stuff he could talk about, even though he doesn't seem to think that there is, but there totally is. Yeah. My sister too. My sister is. I feel like she's amazing. Like if you get her going, she's great at like talking about stuff and sharing her thoughts and stuff like that. I think she'd be a great YouTuber. I don't know if she wants to be, but I think she'd be great at it. What else was I gonna say? I actually do think that like it is a good idea to like, of course, like learn how to do your chores and learn how to take care of your home and stuff like that. Actually, like as I was buying my apartment, I took all these homeowner courses. Ooh, I got a burp, and it's not coming out, which means I feel like I'm gonna die. Ugh. And in one of them, they actually had this really useful thing, which I should try to find. Maybe I should share it on one of these, where it's like seasonally, like things you should do, like for your house. In other words, like, you know, if it's spring, you should do this in order to save heat, or not save heat. If it's spring, you should do these kind of things to prepare the windows for the summer. If it's, you know, winter, you should prepare for the cold and do this and blah, 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 blah. I wish I could find it so I could actually tell you, like, what the things were. But I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. And I say, like, even though I didn't buy a house, how do I jump? Space jump, right? I forgot about that. Even I'm not buying a house. Like I found it to be quite interesting and useful. So maybe I will share that. I just have to find it. Just have to find that shit. But yeah, so sorry, I'm not taking suggestions on videos to do unless like it's a suggestion that correlates with me. But if you'll join me, then we can just do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm totally down with that. That sounds fun. Anything else? I think that's it. Personal message to my friends. What else has been going on? So Trigun Stampede Episode 2 came out today. And although I was very disappointed with the first episode, and I'm still kind of disappointed with the series, just like people will say it's the second episode, how can you judge the series? It's just the beginning of the first Trigun was like so much fun. And they seem to have disappeared a great character. So I feel like I'm pretty justified in being like, what the fuck? So episode 2, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but episode 2 is like very similar to an episode. It's basically, it's taking an event from that happens in the first series and just doing it over again. And it's doing it in a more interesting way than the first episode does anything. So that's good. Vash the Stampede is a slightly like, or this Vash the Stampede is a slightly different character than the OGs. Similar like goals and, you know, similar reasons for being the way he is. But he comes at things differently. He like, I don't know how to say it. He's just like slightly different. Like the white in this series, like Vash seems to be kind of like a whiny baby. He cries a lot and stuff like that. Like in the original series, Vash cried when, like, at certain times, like when he was deeply invested in stuff. Like he wasn't like, oh, I don't have a bullet. Like, you know, they kind of like in this series they kind of combined the character that Vash played, which he would act like a goof when he was around other people. He would like act like this happy-go-lucky goofball when he was around other people, but then like in reality he was kind of like a depressed guy, like a kind of a serious person that tried to do the right thing. Like there's a few episodes in the original Trigun where like Vash is just being himself, and he's not like happy-go-lucky or goofy, or he's actually really super serious and kind of a deep thinker, and like he's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, you know. So it kind of shows that like the goofball is like a mask he wears to kind of hide the fact that he's got a lot of baggage. Like, in this, you know, and when he was like a child in the original series, he was more of a crybaby. You know, until the events of like Gunsmoke, of the planet Gunsmoke, make everybody throw up now. You know, hardened him a little bit. And this, he's still kind of like that crybaby. Like he's kind of like whiny and goofy. And it seems to be like that's his name. Like they seem to have made like the persona part of his nature. which is fine. I actually, I'm starting to enjoy this series more, even though like we're 2 episodes in. But just the fact that like, even though it's called Trigun, this is a different thing, and it's going for some different stuff. Like it's gonna tell a similar story, but like, it's gonna have the spirit of the old story, which I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like the reason I got pissed at Final Fantasy Remake was they were saying like, oh, this is, you can use this as like a replacement for the game and blah 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 blah. But Trigun Stampede seems to just be like then I haven't listened to any like PR shit. This is kind of daunting. I haven't listened to any PR stuff, but like, so I don't know what their goal is with the anime. But from what they're showing, it seems to be like, all right, we want to tell a similar story, but like, you know, we want something that's Trigun, but we don't want to do the exact same thing again. But the problem is, so I can respect that, and I'm gonna like give it a chance. But the problem is like, too much is the same. You know what I mean? Like too much is just like episode 2. Even though I enjoyed it more, it's just the like same story. It's the same as another episode, like plot beat wise. As like as the old show. So I'm like, if you want to like do something different, then do something different. I don't know. Like I have all these weird mixed feelings on like I'm happy Trigun is back, but I don't know like what exactly I would have wanted. I know the manga is very different in some, well, not very different, but I know it's different in some ways than the old anime. I guess I was like expecting something more true to the manga, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what we're getting. I think we're getting a third like unique thing. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, I don't know. Like I don't know how like I would have done it. You know what I mean? Because it's going for something different, but it has like it's just not as fun as the old one is. You know what I mean? Like there's no mystery about it. Like they're just kind of showing you what's going on. I'm gonna let it like continue. I'm gonna let it do its thing. The news has been dropped that Johnny Young Bosch is going to be the English voice of Vash the Stampede. So that's kind of great. I love his, I love his Vash the Stampede. So it's so weird. Like I have such like weird feelings about it. Like there's part of me that's like happy that he's back, and then there's another part of me that like wants this to be like a different thing, and kind of wants a new voice actor for Vash to symbolize it being a different Vash, or to make it a different Vash in my head. I don't know. Very odd. Like I think what's disappointing is like, or I think what has me like upset is that like the first episode was different in all bad ways except for the visuals, which by the way, the animation in episode 2 is fantastic. Like they're doing a good job with like everything visually is really good in Trigun so far. Ooh, excuse me. I don't know where to put this. Okay. So, yeah, that's not a problem. It's actually probably some of the best 3D animation in an anime, like, that airs weekly that I've ever seen, honestly. Like, the Berserk movies were not as good as this anime. This anime looks beautiful. and things move beautifully, and it's crazy. At the end of the episode, they have like artwork for the show, and that's awesome. Like, there's like these little scenes of like things that are going on in the show, and they look awesome and rad. Okay, get back here. I'm gonna clean under here. How did the dirt get under here? All right, I'm gonna critique this game right here. How is the dirt distributed so evenly? Like every fucking surface of this thing is super dirty, but like these fences are pristine. Okay, what's going on? What's going on in this place? Like, how did it get dirty under here just as much as everywhere else? It's unbelievable. Yeah, so anyway, like, I can't really rate Trigun Stampede because it's only been 2 episodes, but episode 2 was, like, way better. And I'm more interested. Like, it didn't make me excited, but it made me curious to see like what they were gonna do, and I'll take that. You know what I mean? Like, it's way more like it seems more promising. Like something interesting is going to go on in Stampede, so that's cool. So I might actually wait until we get the English voices. I wonder if the old Meryl can return. I don't actually know who played her, but she did a great job. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, there's still no Millie, which sucks. That's a real blow. It's really fucking great. But at least I'm like now like even the writing in episode 2 is better. Like it's not great, but it's like way better than episode 1's introduction and everything. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But at least now, like, I'm like interested in actually like seeing what happens instead of just being like, oh, this is another thing that I love that they're gonna fuck up. Like, so at least the outlook is more optimistic. So that's good. What else have I watched? I started watching Vinland Saga, which another thing where I have like mixed feelings. I feel like, alright, so Vinland Saga is basically like a Viking kind of anime on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. I mean, it is on Netflix, but I think it is a Netflix like sponsored or produced or what do you say? How do you say it? I guess created by Netflix. I don't know how you say it. Like a Netflix anime. Not just that it's on Netflix, but it's actually created by Netflix. I've heard about it. I don't know if I've heard good things. I've just heard people talking about it. Like referencing it now and again. So I was like, alright, let's check it out. And I don't know. It's fine. It's not like offensive or anything. One thing that bothers me is it seems like it's going to be a pretty like, how do you say it? The vibe I get is it's going to be like a kind of serious, like about war and stuff like that anime, right? Which I'm down for, right? I'm down for that kind of stuff. But the fuck was that? But I thought it was going to be like a more realistic take on things. And it kind of starts that way, but then it gets a little silly. Like, one guy fights like 30 people and wins, and I'm like, alright, this is like the anime part. Like, I would have rather it be more, tactical, realistic. Like it's crazy to say Attack on Titan, but like the battles in Attack on Titan are realistic. Like, people die when you don't expect it. One person, unless it's like Levi or Mikasa, which they're in show reasons why they're quite tough. But Attack on Titan, it feels like you can lose somebody at any moment. That kind of thing is kind of... It's interesting, and it makes the anime very gripping, like when somebody is faced with odds that are not in their favor, it's not a surefire thing that they're gonna get out of it. I don't know. Vinland Saga, like, this person is doing this crazy stuff and then they lose, but it's like the way they lose, it's like, all right, well, this is fine. Like, they got kind of, I'm not sure if backstab is the word. They got backstabbed, but like, it's someone makes a deal and then they don't honor it. But like, before that happens, like, this person is like fighting like a group of like 15 people by themselves and winning. It's a little like superpower, like anime stuff. And it's not like, the way they do it, it doesn't feel like the person is using tactics or like, it's not shown to be like, oh, they're using like some kind of strategy, like it's a corridor and it nullifies the number of the greater number of people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not stuff like that. It's like he just like walks into the middle of a crowd and starts beating everybody up, and it's like, okay. Like, it's just like, oh, he's so strong. It's like, yeah, he's strong because the writers are writing that he's not like jumped by a bunch of people and stabbed. And that's okay. Like, right, for Trigun, it would be weird if Vash was just jumped by a bunch of people and stabbed, right? But you kind of forgive Trigun for that because it presents itself as kind of this wacky anime where this person has these superhuman abilities. But Vinland Saga presents itself as an anime that is going to have realistic characters and realistic themes and relatable stuff. And then all of a sudden, there's the scene where this guy is like doing all this crazy shit. And I'm like, alright. You sold me on this being different than what it is. And now I'm disappointed that, like, I wanted chocolate ice cream and you handed me vanilla. So now I'm like, like, I'm not enjoying it as much. Also, the English dub doesn't seem great. I'm watching it in English, and I'm going to continue watching it in English if I continue watching it, just because I'm too lazy to read the subtitles on this particular one. Like, I don't care enough. None of the characters seem overly, like, expressive or anything like that. They're all just kind of quiet. There's not a lot of, like, fun anime, like, in terms of, like, just people talking, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of fun conversations and stuff like that. Like, the old Trigun had, if the characters were just talking about stuff, it would be enjoyable. I don't know why I'm comparing everything to the old Trigun, but it's just an example. like Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, like, you could stick the characters of Cowboy Bebop in a room and have them doing absolutely jack shit. And I am, like, on the edge of my seat. That's an exaggeration, but, like, it's true. Like, the characters are so enjoyable in Cowboy Bebop and the old Trigun that, like, even when they're just putzing around, like, I'm enthralled because it's like I like these characters so much. And, you know, just anything they do is, like, charming or funny. You know, you just enjoy them. Vinland Saga does not have that. A lot of, like, shows do not have that, you know? And I just appreciate it. What else? Did I talk about Rising of Shield Hero? I don't think I did last time. That's another thing that I watched. I watched reactions of Rising of Shield. This sounds familiar. Maybe I did talk about it. Or maybe I was just thinking about talking about it. Whatever, I'm going to talk about it again. Fuck it. So, Rising of Shield Hero, I was watching, like, a bunch of reactions to it. And, so Vinland Saga, yeah, I started watching it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not. I might just put it on when I'm, like, got nothing to do, but it just, you know, as soon as, like, things got, like, less and less realistic, and there's also some character motivations that seem odd. Like, there's a character who is, like, a betrayer and a backstabber and, like, just this kind of out for himself person, but he, like, goes back and forth between being that and an honorable dude, like, it weird in weird ways. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. A lot of Vinland Saga just annoys me. But anyway, so I was watching Rising of Shield Hero because I was, like, bouncing around different anime looking for something to watch. And that show, like, it's so disappointing because it's got so much potential. Like, there's so many isekai, which are basically, if you don't know, an isekai is a story where the character is basically pulled from their normal life into, like, a fantasy life or a fantasy world, and they have to, like, make their, you know, they have an adventure in this fantasy world. Sword Art Online is, like, one of the most famous ones, but there's tons of them now. There's absolutely gajillions of them. I think Sword Art came out and got popular, and then everybody was, like, doing their own version. Overlord is one. There's so many. Even Inuyasha is kind of an older, like, pulled out of one world and into ancient magical Japan. And, you know, there's reincarnated as a slime. There's suddenly I'm a spider. There's oh, that's another thing I got to talk about. Holy shit, I don't know the name of it. I gotta get the name. Hold on. How do I... Can I... How do I get the name of this fucking thing? Gotta look at Crunchyroll. Everybody, chill out for a second. Oop. Crunchyroll. Get out of here. What is this thing called? What is this thing called? Is there, like, recent? Continue on. Here we go. Alright, the Shield Hero is one of them. My Hero Academia History, yes. Yes. What is this called, this show that I fucking watched? Skeleton Knight in Another World. Okay. Alright. Alright, there's too many things coming up to talk about. Skeleton Knight in Another World. I'm going to talk about that later, but just remember that name. All right, so there's tons of these isekai things where it's like a guy gets pulled out of, or girl, whatever, gets pulled out of their normal life, and then they have to live the life of. Hold on. I want to change back to this, and I want to change the extension. Original being able to use quite close to service. I cannot be using close to service. Oh shit. Wait. Okay. Yeah. 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 I'm not sure if I'm getting it all, but. Tab. There's some dirt in there. There's some dirt in there. What was I saying? I got fucking very, very wrapped up in this. Alright, so isekais. Yeah, there's tons of them. So just because I've seen like the setup so many times, because there's literally like hundreds of these things. If you go on like any anime website, you can find bozillions of isekai stories, right? So I find them typically uninteresting. But Rising of Shield Hero like starts out like usually the character when they come into their new world, a lot of the stories like not usually, but like a lot of the stories like have the character be like have like an advantage. Like they're like a normal person, but because of either their chosen profession or like a skill they have or their experience or whatever, they're like overpowered in this like magical world, you know? A lot of times it'll be that they're a person who's like a gamer or a nerd, and they're very like, how do I say, familiar with like, I just noticed my hand. Did I always have a hand? They're very familiar with like the rules of like specific like magic or video games or whatever, and that allows them to like be good at. Can I buy stuff? I probably don't have enough. Never mind. And that allows them to like succeed in the mystical world. Like right, like they play a lot of video games. The mystical world has like rules similar to video games, so the person who's been dragged here like has like this weird advantage over like people who just grew up here because they understand how the world works, and they can use their knowledge and skills to like do a really great job, right? So like a lot of these things are like that, and some of them are fun, some of them are interesting. Overlord had its moments, but like there's a lot of just stupid anime-ness put like into like in that. Like people don't act like people, you know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of like fan service and just annoying shit, and it ruins the experience of Overlord to me, and I stopped caring about that. Also, like, I guess they explain that, like, the guy, like, stops having human emotions somehow because he's, like, his character. But he clearly doesn't stop having emotions. He just stops having, like, empathy for like, what... that's a different talk for a different time. But, so, this is how isekais work, right? They have, like, a superpower character, blah, blah, blah. So, this one, Rising of Shield Hero... The guy, he does have an advantage because he's like a gamer or whatever. But he doesn't arrive like super powered. And really his only, like, the only advantage that he takes from like being transported is that he like can learn the rules of what's going on pretty quickly. So he like grasps like the rules of this world that he's in. It's very weird, like it actually functions like a video game. I think that's kind of fun. Like when they take a story, like they take weird like elements from video games and put them into their stories. Like, you know, like a person can like look at their stats or whatever and be like, oh, I have 47 strength, I should go chop wood, and you know, like they can pull up these weird computer screens. Rising of Shield Hero, it doesn't really make any sense that he could do that. He just can. He's just like in a video game, but it's like a realistic world. It's very weird. Sword Art Online, like they were in a video game, so they could do that. Overlord, I forget if he can still do that. I think it's like a game at first, and then he gets transported to a world that has similar rules as the game, but I don't think he can actually like pull up like his stat menu or whatever. He just has all the items and stuff that he had became real, if I remember correctly. But it's a trash show. Don't bother. Like, Overlord sucks. But Shield Hero, like he does have this advantage of like getting how the rules work and like picking up things very quickly. But there's this like betrayal that happens in like the first episode, and he ends up like disgraced, and like he thinks that he's gonna have the same experience that like, you know, that like other isekai heroes have had, where he's gonna be super like, he's gonna do a super good job and he's gonna win and he's gonna make friends, and he'll like he's like in regular life he's a fish out of water, but in this world like he gets how things work and he can figure it out. So he's like excited to like get out of his real world and be here, which I think is like a great substitute for the audience. Like these isekai things, they're for people who play video games or play Dungeons and Dragons or watch Lord of the Rings or watch Avatar or whatever, and excuse me, and wish that they were in like a magical fantasy world. Like that's the allure. That's why they're so popular. That's why there's so many of them, you know? Like it's just having fun at the idea of like, oh, what if I woke up tomorrow and I was like in Warcraft, or I was in EverQuest, or in Final Fantasy, or whatever, you know. Pick your favorite. It doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be ancient magic. It could be like, what if I was in Star Wars, or what if I was blah 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 blah. So that's like what that's their goal, is to make you have fun, like experience a story like that where somebody's pulled in and then they get to experience it. But Shield Hero subverts it by like having this guy have like a really horrible, like a really awful experience, like right off the bat, where he gets betrayed and tricked, and people think he's like awful, and they shun him and stuff like that, and he loses all his money and loses his stuff, and he can't fight correctly because of like his class, which is weird. Like it plays as if, or the world is as if he's in a game, and it actually like locks him out of using certain equipment. Like he can't actually pick up a weapon, like he's not allowed to. So that like the added like struggle of like, it is a game, you think you're gonna like have such a good time. It's like if you bought a video game and you were forced to play a class that you don't want to play. Like you hate playing healer, but you have to be a healer. Like, or in this case, it's like if you hate being a tank, you have to fucking play the tank. You have to play it for the entirety of the game. There's no class switching. There's nothing like that. You have to be a tank. Fuck you. And what I like about it is it kind of like, sometimes when you force yourself to do things in video games or whatever, like in art, Like sometimes if you like say you're a painter, right? And you always paint like you're a painter, right? And you always do paintings. But then one day, like, you force yourself to use markers or use clay or something like that. Like, use a different medium for your art. You can, like, learn new stuff and enjoy that experience sometimes. Shield Hero kind of, like, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but they kind of hit upon, like, that feeling of, like, oh, like, I hate playing this class. You know, like Warcraft, like, oh, I like being DPS, and then you play a healer or you play a tank, right? And then you're like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like, so it hits upon that like feeling, where he's like stuck as this class he doesn't want to be, but he starts like figuring it out, and then it gets cool. Like he gets like these weird solutions to things. Like, it's so... The introduction of Shield Hero is so interesting and full of potential. And then it just, like, it does the same thing that fucking Overlord does. Like, it has all these weird anime tropes. People don't act normal. You know, people don't talk normal. It's not offensive that way, with the talking and the way people are acting. But, like... I mean spoilers for Shield Hero, I guess, but if you're listening to me, like, I doubt you're gonna enjoy this show. So basically he gets shunned and mistreated and blah 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 blah. All his stuff is stolen, and he can't fight by himself because all he can use is a shield, and he can't like level up or get stronger because he can't kill anything because all he has is a shield. One thing, shields are great weapons. I don't know, like you know, like if you have a shield, you can fuck somebody up. You know, like an iron shield or even a wooden shield. Like you can do some damage to somebody with just a shield. So it's a little weird that, you know, that he's having so much trouble. But for the premise of the story, it works. It's fine. So he's gotta like find a way to get somebody to fight for him, and he doesn't trust any people. He doesn't trust any people because of the way he's been treated. So this is all great. So what he's got to do is he's got to get a slave. Slavery is legal in this world, and they're like magically bound so that they have to listen to whoever owns them. So he gets a slave, and you know, it turns out like you think it does. Like he treats the slave good or whatever. It doesn't really go into like why slavery is such a bad thing. Like they just like kind of brush past it. There's no like elements of like, how do you say it? Like they go into like, they do talk about like, oh, this is bad and blah 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 blah, but they kind of also justify it like, oh, if the world you're in it's legal, it's okay. It's like, no, like it's still morally a bad thing, and they don't talk about it, and it's weird. And actually, the people who bring it up are made to look like idiots for like bringing it up. It's very weird. But I think later the story goes into like starting to liberate people and stuff like that. But that I'm not gonna make it that far because I dropped off, and I'm gonna be talking about why. So like, how do I say it? So the slave he gets is like this, like it looks like a child. It's a raccoon girl, and she's small. She looks like a child, And I'm gonna say this. Like, I immediately know, like, what's gonna happen. Because she's pretty, you know, like, she's the first girl, or not the first girl, but she's like the, like, you can see in, like, the opening, like, she's the girl of the anime, you know what I mean? Like, the main, the female lead. So, there's already, like, these feelings of, like, this is gonna be the romantic interest. But, like, he gets her as a child. It's, like, weird, you know what I mean? So, like, he gets this raccoon girl, or half raccoon girl, and I think she's actually a tanuki. I think tanukis are like, they call them like raccoon dogs. I don't know exactly what they are, like what exactly the species is, but can I bring? Hold on. Forget about raccoon girls for a second. Can I bring this up? Hold on. This is very important. Yes, I can. Thank you. I like how I'm not using the big ladder at all to do any of this. Maybe I should be. Hold on, big ladder, where are you? Alright, I gotta think about how I'm gonna talk about Rough Talia, which is her name, which is a cool name. I like that name. So like you can see that she's like gonna be the. I actually need this to get over here. Yep. Wait. No. Okay. Can I die? Can I break my leg in this game? All right. So you can like tell that Reptalia is gonna be like the girl of the anime, but in the opening, like she's a woman, and then but here he finds her as a child. Now their explanation is that demi-humans in this world, like they aren't like people. When they level up, they age very quickly. So like when she's like level 4 and she's like a 10-year-old child, but then like when she's level 18, she's like an 18-year-old girl. And all of this sucks. he needs somebody to fight with him. He gets a slave and he trains her as a child to fight for him. And this is all fine. Like their interactions are all fine. He's good to her. Like he's kind. Like that's all great. I don't have a problem with that. They're gonna form a bond. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is that like she's a child and she's gonna be the romantic interest, and you can like feel it coming. That shit, I don't. That's no good. Like, that's some grooming shit going on there, and I don't fucking like it at all. Like, it makes me feel gross. And there's two solutions. To like, you could have this like he gets a slave and frees her and they form a bond thing. You can have that, and you can also have the love interest thing, even though that's like a little weird. Or you could have a bond, I should say, not a love interest thing. You can have a bond, and here's the two ways you do that. One, when he gets her, she's a child, right? And instead of, like, she grows up to be his love interest, he sees her as a daughter. That would be completely fine. Like, and there's, like, not that many stories of, like, I think Spy X Family might be one of them, but, like, there's not a lot of stories of, like, father-daughter, like, bonding or whatever, you know what I mean? In anime, and I think in media, because I'm struggling to. I think there's like The Last of Us has that kind of relationship, and it's great. Um, right? That's like the big one. How many father-daughter things are there? Or like older brother, younger sister. Well, I guess older brother, younger sister is probably more common. I can't think of anything, but like, just go for that kind of dynamic, you know? And then it's not fucking weird, and then I can enjoy the story. Or have her be an adult. Like, why is there this weird, like, oh, she's a girl, and that she's like a little kid, and then she grows up. Like, why is there that weird dynamic? I don't understand. Like, she meets some of her friends, like, later, and they're still children because they haven't, like, leveled up. It's so weird. How did her parents become adults? They didn't seem like warriors to me. Did they level up? Like, I don't... I hate it. And even that, like, even if, like, he finds her as, like, an adult woman and buys her, and, you know, there's still, like, that weirdness of, like, you kind of have this, like, master-slave relationship. It's not really good. It's not really a healthy relationship. But then again, you know, in media and stories, like in real life, you're shooting to have healthy relationships, right? But in stories, it's not always like every relationship in a story doesn't have to be a healthy relationship, I guess, because they're stories. So that's actually a good point to make, or a good thing to realize. But it's just weird. Like, it makes me annoyed when you know, that like it could have been really good and relatable, but they were like, I want to share my, you know, I kind of think young girls are cute. Like, like fucking stop, don't do it. Like, I just don't want that. So if it didn't have that, that's a big, you know, turn off or like turn away from this anime. And then it happens again. Like, he gets another slave. She's another girl. Is a small child. Like, it happens twice. And then it's like becomes the harem like thing, like where it's all these girls around him. I think I'm so upset because like it had such potential. Like that opening, like that unexpected opening where he gets like accused of doing all this weird shit. And where people fucking hate him. Like, it's so good. And then it just turns into, like, anime trash. And I'm just like, fuck. No, stop. You had potential. And I think that's, like, the most disappointing thing is, like, Rising of Shield Hero had such amazing potential. And then it all just, like, it farts in the wind. I don't know, it's so annoying. It's so, like, disappointing. Like, every new character they meet. I think there's actually another girl, too. I don't remember the later episodes. Because I skimmed it. I was like, after all this shit happened and the second, like, little kid shows up, I'm like, alright, I'm done. So I, like, skipped ahead to see if there was any, like, good, like, because I wanted more of like the beginning, you know what I mean? Like the first like 3 or 4 episodes are fine, and then well, like you could start to see the hint of shit. Like you could start to smell something funny, but it's not exactly a shit yet. and then it gets worse and worse, and you're like, fuck. Why does it have to be this way? Like, okay. But I skipped ahead, and then there's like another little girl, and then there's like another like the queen digs him and all. It's just like, I don't know. I don't like it, but it's so disappointing that like it could have been something special, and it just like it refused. But the world refused to change. Like, just hate that like anime weirdo shit. It's so prevalent. It's like in everything. Like there has to be like Tenchi Muyo. Oh, let's go. One of them's a child. Like, fucking stop it. You know what's good about the original Trigun? Meryl and Millie are both grown women with jobs. And they have to follow Vash because it's like their job. Like it's not like they're not like, oh, I'm in love with you. At least not at first. And it's only one of them that like, I mean, they love him by the end, but they love him like in healthy ways where like one is his friend and one is likes him romantically. Like it's not like weird. You know, it's so good. Like, but yeah, but Shield Hero had so much potential. There's like he gets into a duel, and he finds all these like, he uses all his like acquired skills to like fight the duel in all these weird ways. I don't know. It sucks because like all the good stuff is really good, and then all the bad stuff is like really bad. It's just like, I just want to like this show, like, but I can't because it's terrible. That's how I felt with like the first episode of Trigun. It's like I really want to like this, but it's doing everything wrong except for the animation. Damn it. All right, now let's talk about the Skeleton Knight anime or whatever the hell the Skeleton Face Knight. Okay, so this is another. I just randomly picked this one, looking for something to watch, and what do you call? I picked it's some of the skeleton. I read it before. That was the title. The Skeleton Face Knight, and this shit opens up on a rape scene, like kind of intense. Not really showing anything, but like it's just like the girl is screaming and they're like ripping off her clothes, right? And it's like, whoa, fucking. And here's the problem with like 90% of anime rape scenes. This is another fucking anime thing that I fucking hate. I fucking hate it. It's like if you're going to deal with a subject as heavy as rape, you've got to give it like the weight that it has, because it's not a fucking fun thing. You know what I mean? Like, but in so much anime, it's like the camera will be like, oh, look at the girl, isn't she hot? Isn't like it's like 90% of anime people like have like a rape fetish, and I fucking hate it. Like even Goblin Slayer, there's like a rape scene in the original episode, handled better than this thing, but like still, it's like the camera's like, oh, isn't the girl hot? Like, isn't this kind of hot? It's like, no, it's not. And the fact that you're like that, like it's weird. Like doing this is making me feel super uncomfortable and angry. Like, I fucking hate that shit. So this thing does that like right off the bat. Like at least in Goblin Slayer, like they're saying like, you know, these people underestimated the situation. Blah 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 blah. It's still bad. And that show, like, that's a fucking problem. But this show, like, that problem is like amplified so ridiculously. Like it's kind of awful, and then like the hero shows up, like it's like immediately intensely awful, and you're kind of like assaulted by like this thing just happening. It's like, whoa, what did I click on? And then the hero shows up, and it's like all like this fucking, again, the camera's like, isn't this heroic? Where he shows up and just cuts all the bad guys in half, and then he saves the girl, right? Isn't that cool? It's like, yo, like fucking, like you're making like this serious thing into like this like way too playful, like you're not getting the context of what this is actually like at all. Like, are you insane? Like, I don't know. I lasted about 10 seconds. That happened. That shit happened where it's like the
it's like instant rape scene. Hero shows up, saves the girl, right? And then it's like the opening credits start playing. And I was like, fuck you. Like, I was like, I'm so done so quick. Never have I been so done with an anime so quick. Holy shit. I was like, I'm like reliving it now, and I'm fucking speechless at like how in bad taste a thing can possibly be. I don't think I've ever seen something in such bad taste. I don't know. What I have a thing. I have a thing where I feel like you should be able to like talk about whatever you want to talk about. Like you should be able to be offensive, like in day-to-day life, because it gets people to. Oops. It gets people to talk about things that they wouldn't normally talk about. It gets people to think about things they wouldn't normally think about. And blah 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 blah. But there is like a limit. Like, I don't think there should never be an anime about rape because it can never possibly be handled by that in the correct way. Like, I don't think that at all. But, like, how do I say it? But this ain't it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not... This ain't it. Like, this ain't good. This shouldn't be a... This is a no good. And it's crazy how much of a no good this was. Alright, anyway, so that was another isekai. But I didn't make it very far, because holy shit. Like, it was like the problems of Shield Hero times a million. Also the problems with Overlord. Overlord does the same kind of shit. What did I just do? What did I just do? I did something. The gun disappeared. I don't know what I did. Okay, tab, dirt. Alright, what are we talking about now? Let's get off the subject of horrible things. Just not in the mood. Oh, maybe I did. No? I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what I did. Is it clean on the inside? I think it's mostly clean. I just gotta get weird angles. Let's do the outsides too. Where did I put that thingamajig? There you are, thingamajig. Yeah, so anyway, Shield Hero, wasted potential, really sad. I wish it was handled with, any sort of grace, because it could have been a great show, but like there's so much good in it, man. It's like the demi-humans in Shield Hero. We're back to Shield Hero now. We're not talking about the Onion or the Skeleton Knight. It's like in that show, like the demi-humans, like the Shield Hero is like treated like shit. But the demi-humans trust him because, like, in their legends, he was always kind to the demi-humans and stuff like that. So it's like if he had started in, like, a demi-human kingdom, like, he would have had the hero worship and everything like that. Like, it's so... There's such potential in this fucking show. Like, that he knows that, you know, that things would have been different if, you know, like if just this one thing happened, like he would have a better start. And it's like these people see him for like who he is, except that he got a whole bunch of little girls around him. You know what I mean? Because he is like a good guy, other than his, you know, the company he keeps, like, in the story. Like he helps people, and he's kind of like the champion of the underdogs, you know, of the common man. So I like that about it too. Like there's so much I want to like this show, but it's like I can't because they just ruin it with dumb shit. And it's so, ugh. Season 2's out. I'm not watching it. Disappointing, man. That could have been something, could have been something I liked. But instead, it's stupid poo-poo nonsense. What a waste. What a waste of potential. Can I... Alright. E, change this to this one. Long. Turbo. Yeah. Oh. I guess we're going to have to end it here for now. Okay, I'm back. This is a new recording session. Last time got interrupted, but I'm going to continue and finish this this job of cleaning the playground while yakking about stuff. Let's see, what has happened different? Maybe lower this a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Alright, I haven't really done much since the last time I recorded this. Is there anything else that I wanted to say last time? What was I talking about? I was talking about anime, I was talking about Shield Hero. I was talking about distasteful things in anime, because there's quite a lot. It's a shame, because I feel like the medium has such potential, as displayed by things like Cowboy Bebop and, Trigun and Arcane. I mean, it's not a Japanese anime, but Arcane's an animation. It's got an amazing story, and it's rad. But specifically, Japanese animation's got it has a lot of weird traits, which I think come down to Japanese culture. I watched this guy, I forget his name, but he's Japanese, and he basically talks about the culture in Japan and some of the issues there. Whoa! That's great. That's amazing that you don't break your leg in this game. That'd be funny if you did, and you had to crawl back to your Power Watch van and call for help. Whoop. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so he was talking about some of the issues that the Japanese culture has, I guess, or the just some social issues in Japan, and one of the issues he talks about is it's good to be a dude in Japan, not necessarily a young dude, because older how do I say it? The older generations make a lot of the rules in Japan, and they don't typically take the young people into consideration, which is also a problem in America. A lot of the political parties are just old people saying "Oh, this should be this way," or telling us who we should go to war with. So we have that same kind of issue, but in Japan it seems to be more pronounced, from what this gentleman was saying. And he also says that he also said that if you're a woman, it's a lot of things are quite difficult. It's very much a misogynistic country. Not that America isn't, but it's apparently I don't know about worse, but it's also pretty difficult in Japan to be a lady, and I don't know. It seems like some of that bleeds over into anime. There's not a lot of anime where there's well, maybe there is, and I just haven't seen it. But there's not a lot of anime where the hero who's the guy is taken advantage of or whatever, that. But that is super frequent.
if you're a if you're a girl in anime, even if you're the what do you call? I mean, it's not super frequent, but it's just like if you're watching fantasy stuff or action stuff, like it seems to be super frequent, right? I don't want to talk about that shit. Like, I feel like I already talked way too much about like negative stuff. So let's just move on. I mean, like I said, like I believe you should be able to talk about this stuff, but I don't want it to be the whole conversation. And also, I feel like there's a time and place, and I'm feeling better today. Not that I wasn't feeling good last time, but just don't want to sour my mood. So anyway, let's move on. Games. What games have I played other than Power Wash Simulator? I played For Honor with my friend. I really love For Honor. That is a great like medieval fighting game or melee based fighting game. It's got a bunch of different modes that have all these different like things you can do. It's got dueling, and it's got like these little like war thingamajigs, and there's just so much variety. I kind of wish there was a For Honor 2, just because the player base has kind of died out in For Honor, and I think a lot of people are getting distracted by newer things, and a lot of the people who are playing it, they play it, it's like in that phase of a fighting game where like all the people left are just insane at the game, and I'm not, because I bounce around from game to game, and I would like to get better at it, but like it's hard to improve when people are just insane, like crazy amounts better than you, and there's tons of characters, so like you can't it's just too much. It's like you don't know what to do against all these characters, and the game has changed, so like what I do remember doesn't necessarily work anymore. Yeah, so like I've enjoyed playing it with my friend, because we both didn't really know what we were doing. But I wish there would be like a sequel, so that we could both start off at square one, like when everybody's still learning the game, and have some fun. But it's still fun. It's still an amazing game. I love the combat. I mean, it's difficult, man. There's so many characters in there. It's hard to know like what who's throwing what at you. And you can only block from like a specific side. Like you can only block from specific angles at a time. So it makes defense really difficult in that game. Like there's no dedicated like block, like how like in Tekken or in Street Fighter or something like that, you hold back to block, and you can block anything that's thrown that's like a high or mid attack. But then like you duck to block low. Like in For Honor, there's 3 sides, and you have to like pick one to block for certain classes. Some other classes, like they don't even, like their guard goes down after a second or two. So it's very it's hard. Like defense is hard in that game. It's a game about like countering and I feel like you have to have a good defense in that game in order to like succeed, but damn, is it difficult to do that, at least for me. But it's an amazing game. Like it really makes me want to like learn more, and get better at it. I like it way more than Chivalry, which is like another medieval like combat kind of based game. Chivalry, I just hate I mean, I was playing on PlayStation 4, so like I had to play with the analog stick, and it was terrible. Maybe with mouse it's a little bit better because you have to like swing your camera around in order to swing your weapons correctly. I was just like, I don't like this at all. Like it's first person, or it can even be third person. But even in third person, like swinging your camera around, like to do your attack, is just, I don't know. I just hate it. I just hated the combat in Chivalry. Chivalry 2. Chivalry 1 I didn't find to be so bad. I don't know why. But Chivalry 2 just drives me nuts. Okay, climbing pole is. Can I climb the climbing pole? Suppose not. Let's clean up in here before I move on. So yeah, so For Honor, tons of like content in that game. It's an Ubisoft game, so they're trying to nickel and dime you at every like turn, which is frustrating. But there's just a lot of stuff in it, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I wish they'd make like a 2 so I could start off fresh. Okay, I can climb that. But I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like 2 would have happened already, but for some reason they're just not doing that. Let's see, where else can I go? Let's do this thing, I guess. Ooh. Am I crushed? No, I'm not. Just having a very hard time walking on this. So yeah, so I was playing with my friend. That shit's fun. Like when you have any fighting games like this, when you're both like at the same level as, or when you're at the same level as your opponents, like you don't know really what's going on, or your opponents don't really know what's going on. Like it's good, and then opposite, like when you both really know what you're doing, it's great. Having somebody around your level in a fighting game is really fun. And I was having a lot of fun with For Honor. What else have I been doing? I've been playing Resident Evil 4 VR. I finally beat it. And that shit is an amazing experience. Resident Evil 4 is like one of my favorite games of all time. I've played it so many times. I think I have to move this ladder. I've played it so many times. I just finished playing it on like the Switch, like the handheld version. The Switch version is fine, but it's not like the greatest. Ooh, okay. Let's see, can we put this there? Yeah. It's not the greatest version, but it's definitely passable, and you can play it on the go fairly well. I started playing the Wii version, which was fun as well, but then like the VR version is amazing. It's like the Wii version times 2 with the like you can aim, and you have your gun at your holster, and it's so cool. I might need my extendo, whatever the hell it's called. I like how the ladder ceases to exist when I pick it up, so I can move it under stuff. Yeah, the VR version is amazing. It's an amazing feat that people took the bones of Resident Evil 4 and made it into a completely functional VR game. I forget the name of the studio who did it, but like they did an amazing job. All the backgrounds look really good, and I don't know, everything about the VR version is just amazing. It is a lot of content. Right now, I started playing, after beating the game, there's the Mercenaries mode. And the Mercenaries mode in VR, like, I had just played it on the Switch version, Mercenaries. In VR, it's amazing. Like, in the Switch version, it's kind of frustrating because it's hard, the Mercenaries mode. It's actually a lot harder on the Switch than I remember it being. I don't know why that is, or if there's a reason for that. But in VR, it's so much fun because you can do more stuff. You can like dual wield, even though dual wielding is a little hard because you have to reload your weapons. Oops, shit. But it's an incredible amount of fun. Oops. Come on. Nope. Yeah. It's really a great gaming experience. After you unlock like all the characters in Mercenaries, they have like other challenges and stuff you can unlock where they're just silly and crazy, and there's one where you have an infinite Tommy gun and you're just like walking around just like waving your arm around with the Tommy gun. It's just really funny. It's like a spooky one where you're in like mist and guys can come at you from any angle, and oh, it's just really good. Details from Cal. We got a dirty little house and needed some TLC. Well, shock absorbing power. Okay. I get distracted by these messages because I'm like, should I be paying attention to this? And doesn't matter what the answer is because I'm totally not. Not getting into the deep lore of Power Wash Simulator. Sorry, everybody. You have to watch a different video for that. I'm just talking about the weird stuff I did. What else have I been doing? I've been dating again. It's just rough, man. I need to. I wish I could find, because I want somebody who like is similar to me in that they enjoy, art and the kind of shit that I enjoy. And it's hard to find people like who are specifically that type of person. It's weird. Like if you try, how do I do this? Yeah, there we go. Like if you try a dating site, like for gamers, for example, like they're really small. You're not meeting. There's not a lot of people in your area that are on that site. Blah blah blah. But if you try like a regular dating thing, like Match or OkCupid or whatever, it's like you can't search by like hobbies or like type of person. It's just like what ethnicity they are or how fat they are. It's like I don't care about that stuff. Like I want like what type of brain they are. Can I search for what type of brain? I don't know. It's very weird. And I was talking to somebody who was like, well, you should do meetups then. Like, there's less pressure, and depending on the meetup, you'll meet more people of your type. But it's like, what kind of meetups are there for, brainy people? Not that I'm super brainy, but like, I like talking about philosophy more than I like kicking a soccer ball around or golfing or whatever. So yeah, it's just weird. Trying to find the right match is quite difficult. Which you'd think it'd be easy. I live in a city. There's probably tons of those people here that I just I can't find like one. I mean, maybe it's me too. Maybe like just not matching with the correct people because of I don't know what I put out. I don't know. I do not know. I have to My Hero Academia songs, the opening songs stuck in my head. All right, Power Wash Simulator. How come these don't turn when you hit them with the water? Come on, game. Come on, I'm living in a plastic world here. And that's not cool. We need some physics in this weirdly dirty dirt got everywhere evenly, but not on the fences. Super Mario Sunshine like world. So what else is there to talk about? I haven't really, I'm continuing from where I last left off, but it hasn't been that long, so I don't have a lot of new things to talk about. I haven't seen any new movies. I want to see the new Puss in Boots movie because everybody on Twitter is talking about it. Every artist that I follow is like, oh, this is actually good. And has to do with some pretty deep stuff, so that's kind of cool. The Last of Us, the HBO series, has just come out. Someone is texting me. Nope, it's not a text, it's a notification. I don't know if I'm gonna... I guess I will check out the Last of Us HBO series. It's been a while since I played that game. I played it on PS3. I thought it was a great game, but I don't understand, like it's not the best game or the best story ever told in video games. Like, it's very good. It's a very good game, and it's like something you can definitely, like, it is great. I don't want to, I don't want to put it down because it doesn't deserve to be put down, but the amount of push for this thing is a bit too much that I have to, like, push back and be like, okay, calm down. like it's awesome. Like, it didn't change my life at all. I was just like, that was really good. And I think Joel is super correct for saving Ellie at the end for different reasons. I don't think he does it for the right reasons, but I think he does do it for good reason. Or, I think there is a good reason to not murder the child. I just kind of gave away the ending to The Last of Us. I'm sorry. Oops. But yeah, I mean, it's a good game. I definitely want to play it on the channel. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. But there's like so much stuff I want to do, and so little time. It's like, and my time management is awful, just as a human being. So I don't know how I'm gonna manage or what steps I'm gonna take to move forward that way. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, nope. There we go. How many birds? Like, this looks like bird shit. Some of this. How many birds are on this island? Is this like where those migrate? Is those birds that migrate to this certain town every year, and then the town just gets fucking destroyed with bird shit? Okay, how are we doing here? I don't see any dirt on this thing anymore. Oh, yes I do. Away with you, away with you. Alright, let's get under. Let's finish this. Finish this. I'd like to see different people play this game. Like, I'd like to get people I know and have them play and see what their approach is to like cleaning. Like, because everybody's probably methodical in their own way, but I'm just curious as to like how, you know, like, is there a lunatic who would just like say instead of like cutting off a piece would just like be like just like walk throughout the whole thing? Like, is there someone like that? Because that would, you know, eventually it would work. It might be fun to have somebody like that just come and play, and, you know, yap with them about like their process. And they're just like, what process? There is no process. I feel like I should be getting paid much more for this. $427. Maybe not. How long have I been on this level? I don't know. Is this all clean? Cargo net? Yeah, it's all clean. Okay. Is this all good? Oh, there was one that was dirty. There was one that was dirty. Where are you? No? Alright, we got the dinosaur. Is this really? Is this all done? One of these is filthy. This one. This one is filthy. Filthy. Filthy, filthy dirt. Yeah. Wow. See? Fucking, you know, a task looks daunting, and you just kind of start going at it, and eventually you get where you need to get. It's pretty cool. Kind of like that about this game. Kind of shows you that. You can like see your progress. You know, if I was really cool, I could make a drawing in this dirt, like by systematically like washing off a little bit. I can make like a face or something. That would be cool. And then you jump up here. Jump up here and what do you call? You could look down and be like, oh shit. Face in the dirt. But I'm not doing that because I lack the skill required. Alright, the floor. This is it. I think for the floor, I should do like this. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good strat. Maybe I should crouch. And wider nozzle. This is gonna take a while. So what else is there? What else has happened? I still haven't seen Avatar. Don't have an interest in it. First Avatar was not a bad movie, but it was also not a great movie. A lot of visual stuff. Like it's cool visually, but I just I don't know, didn't like the characters so much. I feel like the best character in the original Avatar is Neytiri, I think her name is. The the blue lady, the lead CGI woman. And I feel like she's just like used a lot, even by like the main character. And they don't really like address the fact that that's not really great of a thing to do. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of other stuff. I should rewatch the movie, I guess, and talk about it. But there's a lot of stuff about that movie where I was just like, eh, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. This is kind of mesmerizing, I gotta say. This is some weird shit going on here. You know what's annoying is I'm gonna have to do it again because I'm pretty sure I missed the edge of the edge. A lot of it. Oh. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it again. Let's get more. Okay. No. Let's like that. Oops. What am I standing on? I'm standing on like. Yeah, I'm standing on that. Let's see. What else is there? What else to talk about? I guess what I want to do for the channel these days. This is pretty enjoyable for me. I don't know if it's enjoyable for everybody else, but it's been a nice alternative to Karn Talks, where I just like stare at a screen or have a piece of paper in front of me with all the things I want to talk about. I might finish this game. I might not. I might give it a break for a little bit, because like I'm noticing now that like I'm running out of things to talk about. But that's kind of my fault because I wanted to finish this level without taking too long. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make one video because I already recorded like the beginning of it, so I wanted to finish it. So it's a little bit my fault for this being the way it is. Maybe next time I'll just be able to yak more. This is a lot. But I kind of want to push through and just see what comes out of my face. It's kind of like improv or acting. It's like when you push a person like past, God damn it, past their limit on what they can do, you get a lot of weird stuff. So let's see what comes out of my stupid face. Might be awkwardly silent, and I'm just gonna let that happen. I'm not even gonna edit it out. Might be awkwardly silent and boring, but you know what? Sometimes life is awkwardly silent and boring. Oh, it just gave it to me. It was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Knock the ball around. No, ball, come back. No, ball. No. Alright, well, I thought it'd be fun to clean with the ball, but that doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Multi-purpose. Maybe I should use some of the cleaner. Hold on. E. Wait. Store. Equipment. Prime Vista. Urban X2. Oh my god, it's so expensive. The fuck? Ow. Ooh. To rapidly cut through all dirt types. Long extension. I mean, I have the money. And then let's buy cleaning liquid, multi-purpose. 2. That's good. Okay. Alright. Soap How do I pick my soap? How do I pick my soap? Pick my soap. Cleaning with multi-purpose. All right. This it. Is this a good idea? How can I see? Huh. Can't really see, like, oh yeah, it's on the bottom. Okay. I'm not sure if this is working or if this is good. Huh. R, okay. I don't know. Like, it's not really, like, getting everything. I talked about Vinland Saga, right? Yeah. Talked about that already. Mob Psycho continues to be, like, a sleep aid for me, which is unfortunate. Let's see. Let's go to the big areas. Let's go to the big areas. I don't know if this is actually helping me or making it worse. Because once everything's like kind of clean, I'm not sure if that's gonna be great. The thing is it doesn't stay wet. Like in real life, this would be, this would be a good idea to make everything soapy, and then. Or maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe I'd fall on my ass. I'm out of cleaner. Well, I don't know if that was a good idea. And there's also a bunch of area I didn't get. So, let's just do what I would have done anyway. Alright, I'm gonna need some prompts or something because I can't think of what the hell to talk about. Talk about travel. Everybody, I feel like a lot of, how do I say it? A lot of, on the dating profile or the dating websites, a lot of people talk about traveling and wanting to travel. A lot of girls, because I just look at girls, right? So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a weird person where I don't really have a lot of, like, travel aspirations. Like how do I say it? I am curious to see, like, what like, France is like, or what Italy is like, or what, like, what different countries are like. I don't know. Maybe because I haven't done it, or maybe because I don't have the money, really. There's just a part of me that doesn't have the interest. I don't know. For me, I think it would be more enjoyable to travel, like, with a like, I wouldn't, like, if I won the lottery, I'm not sure if I would start, like, just going all over the place right away. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's just, like, I haven't done it, so I just don't know what to expect, or, like, I don't know what kind of experiences I'm gonna have. So it's just not attractive to me. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hard to know what you're missing out on until you've done it. There are, like, I'm not completely like, oh, I just want to stay in my house. Like, that's not it at all. It's just, I don't know. I have this feeling that, like, people are people. Like, even though they have, like, if I want people with, like, a different culture, like, I can go to a different part of New York and see, like, all these different types of people. Maybe that's why I just don't find it so fascinating. Like, I hear people tell me about their travel stories, and I don't know, I guess to me it feels like, oh, I guess you had to be there.
kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's very. I'm curious. I'm curious, like, why I'm like that. Like, why I just don't have that bug. I do have that bug in certain situations. Like, I'd love to see New Zealand. There's a lot of movies that were filmed there. And in the countryside and the landscapes, they seem beautiful to me. So I kind of would like to see that. I've seen the Prime Minister of, I think it's Prime Minister? President? The leader of New Zealand, like, speak a bunch of times. She seems super smart and she seems cool. But I don't know anything about, like, the towns and cities and stuff like that. I know that there's financial troubles because of... I don't want to get into it because I don't know that much. But I know that, like, having, like, the Lord of the Rings film there, like, created some issues, and like, I think they were taken advantage of, basically, by like the movie studios or some shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, I did watch something about it, but I like, the only information I retained was, like, okay, like, they have problems. Like, they have bad things have happened there. But yeah, I would still like to see it. I'm curious as to what it's like in New Zealand. Also Japan. Even though I, listened to, I think it's Shogo, talk about, like, Japan and all the issues there. I would still like to see it. It seems like I'm such a nerdy guy, and I like my anime. I like my fantasy stuff. I like sci-fi stuff, and there's, like, a whole island of people who appreciate that kind of shit. At least that's, some of the sense that I get of it is that, like, in America, like, people think that cartoons are for kids, and there's so many artists and creators, like Guillermo del Toro has been talking about it a lot lately, that are just like, no, it's an art form, it's for everybody, it's a way to express yourself. Is this a giant Mickey Mouse? Is this, like, ear, and then... I didn't fucking realize that. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a Mickey Mouse shape. Alright, let's get to this area, I guess. I don't know, I would just like to see that kind of culture. Although I think a lot of the things that I probably would have enjoyed seeing are probably not there. Like, a lot of arcades are closed down and stuff like that, because they're just not as popular. Is there anywhere in the U.S. I'd like to go? Probably California to see my friend. I don't know. Anywhere in the U.S. that I really want to see. I mean, I've seen Florida. I've seen, I think, Virginia. I've seen, but not as an adult. Like, I've never, like, gotten in a car and, like, gone cross country. I'm not sure if I could, actually, at this point. Oh no, I could get the time off to do that. I don't know. I wonder if there's another place in America that I would like to live, even. I wonder if there's another place in the world that I would like. I guess that's kind of the allure of traveling. You could find, is you could go to a place and be like, oh, this is way better. Like, but still, I just feel like I'd be, I don't know, I just feel like it wouldn't have the spark unless I had someone to share the experience of traveling with, which I do not at the moment. My mumbling has the last like 20 minutes just been me mumbling. This shit's rough. Like I gotta take some speaking classes. Maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'll do one of those Skillshare or like one of those learning things. Learn how to do improv and learn how to speak. This is definitely going to be the year of me trying to find a new job, because the job that I do during the day is wearing me down, turning me into a crazy person. So I'm definitely going to try to change that this year. Also, want it to be the year of being healthy. Don't want to feel fat and out of shape anymore. But it's tricky because like I have a job where I'm sitting down, and then I come home and my hobbies are, a lot of them are I'm sitting down, whether I'm drawing or writing or playing a video game. Right now, sitting down. It's hard too. It's hard to like I see like they have like things that are supposed to make you like work out while you're doing your desk work or whatever, but I feel like that's just distracting. It doesn't seem to actually work. Like it seems like if you want to, get a healthy workout in, you have to focus on your healthy workout. Like even me, if I leave like the TV on while I'm working out, I don't get a good workout. Like I just get distracted. My brain is way more attracted to how do I say it? Just that kind of stimuli than it is to physical stimuli. Which in the society we live in is not good. Society doesn't like that shit. We like our athletes. Athletes way more better. Way more better athletes. How much money is there in fucking football? It's like if you you spend your day fighting against cancer, it's like eh. But then if you smash your head into shit, it's like, oh man, that's so cool. Put a ball in a hoop. I do it better than anybody else. Oh my god, you're the best of all time. You are the greatest. And I'm not like downplaying the skill involved. I mean, I am, but I'm, in my mind, I don't actually feel like that there's like that's not a special thing. I do. I just feel like it's too skewed, like in the American mindset, over to one side. Where I don't know. Then again, also like I think where we take our smart people these days in America and we put them into like. Okay, yeah, the green one's not finished. We take our smart people and we put them into like business these days. And like we don't push them into science, we don't push them into like teaching, like teachers. We treat teachers like crap, I feel, in this country. With low funding and what do you call? Like it's weird. Like we have such like reverence for like the military, cops, police, the military, police, firemen. We have reverence for. Firemen make sense. But like, I mean, all of them make sense. Like they all have their. Like I see the reason why we do that for all of those, but like why not teachers? Teachers, how come teachers don't get free meals? like they're literally building the future. All right, where to grime at? Where to grime? There you are. I see you.
Let me get you, Grime. Get you. It's Grime time. Grime annihilation. Climbing pole guards? Climbing pole guards. What is a climbing pole guards? I can't. These. There's one. There we go. Meh. So I wasn't done with this thing. I thought I was. My life is a lie. Alright, let's see if I can get in there. Totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other jobs where I feel like there should be the large bridge slats. Large bridge slats? Huh. Oh, okay. Like sanitation workers, like they make it so that the streets are not like piled high with garbage, you know? Yeah, I did it. Woo! There's a gnome. There's a gnome. I see him. He's looking at me. Alright. I guess that thought is going to end there because I am done. I'll finish it up real quick. I just, you know, I feel like I get why those jobs are really, I don't know if worshipped is the word, or are respected, let's say. And I think that's fair that they are. But I feel like, you know, there's so many jobs, like, during the pandemic, there were delivery boys, like, kept people fed. You know what I mean? Like, they're essential people too, like, I don't know. There's just so many little jobs that people don't really think about. Like fucking like librarians, like fucking keepers of knowledge. Like they don't get free meals. Cooks, you know. Well, I guess they cook, you know, but like they should get respect as well. And I don't know. And I don't just mean like 5-star restaurant cooks. I mean like, you know, people working at McDonald's, like, they feed a lot of people. You know what I mean? And they worked through the pandemic. They kept people fed during the pandemic. I know the food is, like, not 100% amazing, but, like, that's not their fault. It's the company's fault. And, you know, a lot of people survive off of, like, stuff like fast food. I don't know. I just feel like there should be, like, a reverence for all these kind of jobs. Entertainers, too. Although they, you know, I feel like they get a little too much themselves, but like they do keep people, you know, from losing their freaking minds, like during a national pandemic. Let's say, well, let's go up top and take a look. Jump, get on top. Okay, there we go. What is a nice, sparkling, clean, fun playground. Where's the swing set? Where's the swing set, playground? Bullshit. Alright, so... Oh, excuse me. That went so fast. I couldn't even enjoy that. Alright, so anyway, this is Karn Plays, and join me next time. Or I am Karnburn, I should say, and this is Karn Plays. And join me next time for more fighting the grime and talking the times. See ya. Bye-bye.